Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the group Love Yourself, Love Your Life from the Spiritual Safe House. And I'm gonna wait a couple minutes here. All right. I can see in the camera, I look all shiny. I have suntan lotion on and it's so hot out here today, but I love it. So today we're going to be talking about the second card that we pulled on Monday. It was from Luke 7:50. Okay, so we're going to look at that a little deeper, dissect that a little bit, and we're going to talk about two things, just like we talked about yesterday. And then at the end of the video, I'll kind of give you guys an idea of what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Okay. Sorry, it's so hard for me to see the camera. I'm just making sure nobody, I'm not like missing anybody coming on. So, all right guys, so today we're gonna be talking about forgiveness and also about faith. So when I was kind of going over the information that we talked about on Monday, those were two things that really popped out at me regarding Luke 7:50. So when we say forgiveness, now forgiveness can be a really tricky thing, and forgiveness is the ability to not let a wrongdoing affect the way that you are currently living your life. Okay, so we can have a lot of things, you know, happen to us, and for some reason certain things just really stick with us, and they actually can alter the way that we live. So maybe we're doing certain things that we wouldn't normally be doing, or we're not doing things that we normally would be doing because of this specific act or thing that happened to us, you know, and that can really take control of our lives. So like I said, forgiveness is the ability to not let a wrongdoing affect the way that you're currently living your life. So, you know, think about that. Do you live in a state of anxiety, or you feel anger a lot of the time? Maybe you're feeling depressed because of something that someone did or said to you in the past. And this can last for years sometimes, you know? Do you not go after your goals, or do you not truly do what you want to do because of the words or actions of somebody else? Oh, sorry, that's so hot. How often does this happen to you? So, and how easy or not easy is it for you to move on from that? So if this is you, if you are, you know, feeling certain negative emotions, or you're not truly being yourself because of something that somebody else did to you, in the end, you are really only hurting yourself. And I know that when you hear that, that might sound really cliche, like you've heard it a million times, but it really is the truth. And you really are, or you can be, hurting your physical self. So one book that I want to talk about, because it had a really big impact on me and it really does make sense, is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And she talks about you know, how negative emotions that we hold on to can manifest themselves as physical symptoms in our body. And you know, I've seen it happen in other people, and she, in her book, she explains this process in detail. And I have some examples here, and I did write them down to tell them to you because I am quoting her, so I wanted to make sure that I got them right. But these were just, this is just a very small list of ones that I thought maybe were relevant to forgiveness. So see if you can relate to any of these, or you know somebody that could relate to some of these. So if you have emotions that are, you know, you are denying your own power, so you're denying your own physical power, this can manifest itself through allergies. And you think, well, so many people get allergies. But, that's really something to look at. Do you feel that you're denying yourself in some kind of way? And if you hear one of these and you're like, hey, yeah, that's me, and you feel like you can relate to the physical symptom as well, then maybe work on that, journal about that, talk to somebody about that, because moving through that emotional state can really make a complete change in your physical self. So, denying your own personal power can manifest itself as allergies. Not trusting the flow and the process of life can manifest as anxiety. And that one might seem, that, I don't know, that you could say, well, yeah, of course it does. But really, if you're having a lot of anxiety, what is the root of that? What is the root of that? And to say that you're not trusting some kind of process makes sense, and that's probably very likely. So, okay, feeling unloved, feeling criticism or resentment. And these are all things that if we need to forgive someone, that we can sometimes feel. We can feel a lot of resentment towards them, and maybe that's why we don't want to forgive them, right? But these things can manifest themselves as arthritis. So take a look at that. If you're somebody or somebody that is struggling with that, take a look at those things. Do you feel unloved in some kind of way? Do you feel that you're criticized a lot? Or are you holding on to some kind of resentment towards someone? Anger and vengeful thoughts can lead to bad breath. This one's very interesting to me because it's really all about, it's all about how you're expressing yourself and how you're expressing yourself to other people, and even the vengeful thoughts that you're thinking about these things, and if you're thinking about them enough, they could be, you could start saying them, and that could cause bad breath. Okay. Inability to see ahead with joy and feeling that you have a dark future can lead to cataracts. Okay, so this one too, with forgiveness, if you feel like you can't forgive somebody, or you're having trouble seeing that you could ever forgive somebody, you could have an inability to see joy ahead. You could have an inability to see, your life being happy or having a bright future, and that could prompt your body to develop cataracts because you're not seeing anything good. All you're seeing is darkness, right? Emotionally, all you're seeing is darkness, and that is what is going to manifest in your physical body. Clogging the channels of joy. Fear of accepting joy. Okay, so we just went from not being able to see joy to, the fear of accepting joy, and clogging the channels and being able to accept that can lead to cholesterol problems. And once again, some of these things like, the anxiety, the allergies, the cholesterol, that's something that you see a lot, right? So many people have that. And I just wonder if people took some time to really focus on the emotional aspect of this and really took it seriously and tried to dig deep and find if they did have some emotional attachment to any of these things, that if that physical symptom would subside, All right, a couple more here. Refusing to see love. If you would rather die than forgive. This one is very interesting. Refusing to see love. You would rather die than forgive. Could manifest itself as dry eyes. Okay, so seeing these, inability to see things can affect your eyes. Inability to accept things or have things flow nicely. Your cholesterol has to do with the inside of your body, things flowing well. So refusing to see love, that too, your eyes, you're refusing to see certain things. This can have such a big impact. And just by dealing with these things can also have such a big impact. Clutching fear. So if you have a fear of something, that can manifest itself as heartburn. And this doesn't have to be some huge, like, this is my biggest life fear. It could be something small. So that's what I mean when I say that, you want to take a look at these things and, is there something small that I am fearing in my life right now? Is there something small that is keeping me afraid to forgive someone, right? So this can manifest itself as heartburn. Stubborn refusal to let go of old patterns. And this really, really has, direct relation to forgiveness. If you are refusing to let go of old things that have happened, even, things that have happened years and years ago, this could keep you from forgiving and keep you from loving to your fullest extent. And the thing that can manifest from that is snoring. Okay, very, very interesting. Snoring. So the refusal to let go of old patterns. So take a look at that. Okay, and like I said, these are just a couple things. She has an extensive list. And, if you're having a specific physical symptom, I think it would be advantageous for you to go and look. You can find her list online just by Googling it, Louise Hay. And, look at those physical symptoms and see what emotional symptoms match with that and what you can do to kind of, fix that in yourself, So if you're having any of these or any other physical symptoms, like I said, try to look that up and see what corresponding emotions may be with them. And it takes time, and you really have to be honest with yourself to work on these issues. You really do, because like I said, a lot of these aren't like in your face, things. They're very deep rooted and deep seated in yourself, and you're going to have to be really honest with yourself. But I can honestly say from personal experience that the awareness of these things really does help. It really, really does. But I also need to say that this does not in any way take the place of you going to the doctor if you are having physical symptoms. Okay, I am in no way suggesting that you stop taking medication and just, work on affirmations that she gives you, or stop going to the doctor and just, that's not what I'm saying at all. This is, this can be used as another tool in your toolbox. Okay, so try to look that up. Let me know if any of these, if you're relating to any of these, or if you've tried this process, and if it's worked for you. Okay, I can say it has worked for me. It has worked for me. So how do you start the process of forgiving anyway, right? Because sometimes we can say that we forgive people, but we still have this hurt deep inside that can be controlling our behavior. So I'm not saying that you can't hurt or that you shouldn't hurt or anything like that, because it's healthy to acknowledge whatever emotions you're experiencing. Okay, so the first step to true forgiveness is being honest with yourself. So like I said, if you if you're saying that you forgive somebody but you're still really feeling something, you want to really be honest about that. Okay, and you will know when you're ready to be honest. You know if you're being honest with yourself or if you're not. And you will know when you're ready to decide that the hurt will not control you anymore, that it's not going to control any aspect of your life. And that is a decision, right? That is a decision. And you'll know when you're ready to make that decision. So one thing that I suggest that you can kind of start the ball rolling on this is writing down how you truly feel about the situation. Honesty is key here. You know if you are lying to yourself. or if you're keeping something from yourself, right? So I would suggest writing down very seriously, what about this situation that you know, need to forgive somebody? What makes you sad about it? What makes you angry? Do you feel bitterness or resentment towards the situation? What makes you feel that you might be ready to forgive someone? Okay? What will life look like when you do forgive? What kind of emotions will come up for you when you actually make the choice to forgive somebody and not let that control how you're living at the moment? So I would suggest writing these things down, trying some daily visualization. You can just do this for a couple of minutes, and focus on the positive way that you will feel after you have made that choice to forgive this person. Okay? So being in this energy will align you with your decision. So, and I also, and some people might find this weird, but I don't feel that it is necessary to confront the person that you need to forgive. I really don't. I don't even think it's a must for you to tell them that you did forgive them. And I say this because forgiveness is a personal journey. You forgive to better your life, not just say that you forgive somebody to make them feel better. Does that kind of make sense? So, you know, I think that if the other person questions you, or you think that it would be helpful for your process, then by all means talk about that, you know, with that person. But I don't think that you should feel pressure to let somebody know that you've forgiven them. Okay? So that's forgiveness. Next, we're going to talk about faith and what that means and how it has its place in the way you live your life each day. So faith is believing in something that you haven't seen. Okay? And faith will also give you the strength that you need to forgive somebody if you're struggling with that. So think about for a minute, you know, how many sins you've made in your life, right? We've all sinned. Nobody is perfect. And yet Jesus forgives all of our sins if we are truly sorry. So, and it doesn't matter how bad they are, right? He will always forgive us. And he forgives and continues loving us unconditionally. So the Gospels teach us that we are meant to walk as disciples of Christ, walk in his likeness. So if this is so, how could we not forgive people, right? How could we hold on to grudges and resentments as if we are, you know, better than that in some way, you know, and instead of purposefully trying to walk as a disciple, right? So I'm not saying that you can't feel your emotions, you know, or express whatever you are feeling, but there's a difference between acknowledging your feelings, working through them, and letting them go, versus acknowledging your feelings and holding on to them for 30 years with, you know, the continued ability to say that you're still mad at someone after all that time. There's a big difference between that. And that is not walking as a disciple. That's not a spiritual mindset, as we talked about yesterday. So remember, a spiritual mindset is the awareness that God is guiding and testing you at all times. So is it possible that forgiveness could be a test? Is that possible? And the test may be, are you going to follow in Jesus' footsteps, or are you going to let the devil take over your emotions? Now, I can truly tell you that I remember when I started thinking about negativity as the devil inside of me, and that scared the crap out of me, right? Scared the crap out of me. And for me, that thought helps me to think more in a spiritual mindset, okay? It really, really does. So, you know, I encourage you to maybe think of it that way. And if that isn't enough for you to start wanting to change your mindset, I don't know what else could be like as motivating, because like as a Christian, I guess that really that really scared me. So think about that. But the moral here is that as people of faith, and like I said, I speak from a Christian faith, our job is to be disciples. So if we are getting, continuously, and once again, I'm not saying to not feel your emotions, but if we are continuously living in a place of being angry and resentful and unforgiving, then we're not doing our job. We're not doing our job here. So the first step to doing the work that we need on ourselves so that we can get to a point where we can be more peaceful and be more loving. That's the first step that you want to do. Have to work on yourself. And the only person that can make that decision is you. You can't start to work on yourself because somebody else suggests it to you. It has to be your choice. All right? And this is what I teach my clients to do. This is what we work on. First, learn to love you. Okay? Work on you. Love you. That's the first step. And with this love, your life will transform through that. Absolutely. But by loving you first, you will then learn how to share this love with people around you. Okay? And this is the beginning of being a disciple, the true purpose in all of our lives. So live by love and faith, and love those around you as Jesus loves you. That's what he teaches us, right? Love your neighbor as yourself. So, and love as I have loved you. So how can you show love or anything else positive to other people if you're not loving yourself? This is directly what he teaches us in the Gospels. So, like I said, this is specifically what I teach my clients to do. It's the first step. You have to love yourself before, you can do anything for anyone else. And for those of you that are, that really have that caretaking personality, you can spend so much time taking care of other people and completely forget about yourself. And you can't truly take care of others unless you're taking care of you. So that's forgiveness. That is faith. And tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit differently. So tomorrow we're going to combine Tuesday and Wednesday, what we talked about, but we're going to talk about the crystals that are specific to those things. So if there is something very specific in what we talked about through the week that you want to work on, tomorrow we're going to talk about how to get energetically aligned through crystals to be able to work on that. Okay? So I just want to thank you guys so much. I'll probably be on maybe around the same time tomorrow, but I will let you guys know. Okay? And if you have any questions about this content or previous content that we've talked about, you can shoot me a PM through Facebook, or you can contact me through my website, thespiritualsafehouse.com. Okay? So if there's nothing else, then I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay? Have a great rest of your day. Bye.